on the Rose Pro Wrestling Report with Shannon Rose. We're going to go behind the scenes with the Cuban Assassin and talk about his past, talk about when he worked for WWE, WCW, and Puerto Rico. Right after this, stay tuned.
Good. Oh, Shannon Rose running late like always, but I'm glad you made it. Fidel Sierra, the Cuban Assassin. I'm giving Shannon Rose a little tour of my house. You know, I got Valentine's Day presents from I don't know how many years ago to Fantasy Paula.
You don't want to end up in the doghouse.
I didn't want to end up in the doghouse. I got here Chris Jericho, Miguelito Perez, Ricky Santana, one of the Samoans. Along with me, there's me and Ricky Santana with the coal miner's glove. That's good old Portland wrestling days. Me and Dory Funk Jr. Fantasy in a bikini trying to show her nice body off. And me, and then there's another picture of me in Fantasy. There's most hated wrestler, 1995, the Cuban Assassin, 1994 I mean. This is when I was the Boricua in Mexico. And then ended up losing that mask in front of 18,000 people in Mexico City. It was one of the set a record, and Fantasy was the first lady to ever get to be at ringside for CMLL because they didn't allow that back then, and they let her sit at ringside, come to the ring with me, and I'll drop my hood in front of 18,000 people. Walk over here.
I think Shannon got sidetracked there, Cuban.
Well, listen, okay, that's great. Here's a beautiful picture of my daughter and my granddaughter, our granddaughter Jaden, and it's like, wow, what a rush just watching that. My son Manuel and his wife Michelle, and a great son, 35 years old. Got a great grandson, 10, just turned 11. This is where all the, hey, listen, wait, and here's where everything goes on. This is where everybody's toy is.
This is where the 9 inches come into play.
Yes.
Oh, God, that's bad. Anyway, here's my pride and joy. Nice big bathroom. 1 year old. The only thing going on in there is a lot of bubbles, okay? I'll leave it at that.
But, and I can't believe you're letting me wear my regular glasses while I'm doing this, Shannon Rose. But, now that I got them off, here's another trophy. This is the Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Championship trophy that I got awarded with. You know, my own gold medal.
I tell you one thing, we do need a bigger house because he collects everything, he hoards everything, and I have to wait till he goes out of town so I can clear some of the stuff out of here.
I got some more medals here, all kind of stuff, all these back entry deals from a lot of events that I helped coordinate or was behind the scenes that the people don't realize and know about. Just so much stuff, Shannon. The house is a little bit of a mess. Trying to run a Crazy Day sports bar and all the stuff that we do. You know some of these deals because I won them back in your, you were out part of Pro Wrestling Weekly, I believe, back then. You know, what was this one? Match of the Year, 1987.
87.
Shannon Rose here with this week's Rose Pro Wrestling Report. And I'm joined with a gentleman that I've known since I was 14 years old when I first broke in the business, with Gordon Soley kind of passing the torch. And he was one of the first gentlemen that gave me a break and let me ring announce. This is Fidel Sierra, the Cuban Assassin, and the very lovely Fantasy, his manager. Some say valet, but I say the most respected woman in the business because some say the brains behind the brawn, and we're not going to tell you that.
And you said Gordon Soley, God bless, the best commentator there was in the professional wrestling business.
So Fidel, let's start out with the beginning here. You know, a lot of people, I don't give you the respect that they should. Like, they say Abdul the Butcher never attained the respect on a national scale because he was always doing independence and never. Well, he was like Bruiser Brody. Bruiser Brody never was with the big two because of the fact that he had heat here and there. Well, with you, it's not about the heat because you have worked behind the scenes, but the point is that you never had that chance, you know, to work for WWE in the capacity of some of the bigger names. Talk a little about that and, you know, maybe not getting that respect that you deserve.
You know, Shannon, that really does bother me. I'm glad because, you know, I started in 1978 in Dallas, Texas. I was trained by the late Hiro Matsuda the right way, and then it was always the politics, and it's always still the politics nowadays in this business. But I have been in the short end of the stick for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean? I'm not in WWE right now as an agent because people hold a grudge from things that happened years and years ago. Well, WWE, that's your loss. I can't help that part. You know what I mean? Hey, I feel like I'd be an asset to them. I see there's all these other guys that I know I'm way better than them and I got way better storyline. But that's the way it is, politics in the wrestling business.
And then we look at your, you get a zoom in on the forehead here. He's been in some battles, you know, been in some violent battles of Carlito Colon. And we're talking about Carlos Colon, not Carlito Colon from WWE.
Carlos Colon too, Abdul the Butcher.
But you've seen the kids grow up. And then talk about your battles in Puerto Rico, the riots, and also seeing the kids that became stars. You knew them when they were just little tiny kids.
I knew Carly Colon when all he was doing, he was running the camera. And Eddie Colon, the same thing. And then they got, you know what I mean, in through their father's deal. Their father was the president of the WWC, part owner, whatever. But Carlos Colon is a legend, deserves what he is. He is the Hulk Hogan of the Puerto Rico. And nobody could ever take that away. And I battled with him, and there was riots. There was a part where I ripped the Puerto Rican flag, and 2 people were throwing spark plugs. They did everything in the book. They threatened, they called the wrestling office with over 300 or I don't know how many that they were going to kill me that night at the arena. I went and I said, Carlos Colon, either I go on 3rd match with you or we're not having no match and I'm out of here. And I went on 3rd.
Also, we have Fantasy over here, Paula. We don't want to take too much heat away from her.
Yeah,
and let's talk about how'd you meet Fidel over here, and you know, what are you doing these days? Because you guys actually have shoot jobs, you actually have real jobs too, and that's owning a bar. I understand.
That's right. Well, I've been managing Fidel. We've been married since '92, and I don't want to date myself here, but you know, going back to Puerto Rico and Carlos Colon, he gave me an opportunity that no one else did. And I was new to the business. I was green. I came in. He put me in a lot of good angles. He had a lot of faith in my ability. And, you know, I was one of the only female managers that he flew in on a regular basis and that got any kind of push. You know, I've been been all over the world, different places, but I never.
You speak different languages too, which is.
I speak different languages. Yes, I speak German, Czech, Swiss, English, some Spanish. But I never did get the opportunity. But you know what? I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of places I would have never been, including all the way to India and things like that. So I don't regret a minute of it. But, you know, there comes a time where you have to grow up, whether you want to or not. And here we are. You know, we own a sports bar. It's in Largo, 20 minutes outside of Tampa. It's called Crazy Dave Sports Bar.
Home of the 9-inch Cuban.
Home of the 9-inch Cuban. Yeah.
I don't know too much about that. What that means, but we can assume that.
Shannon, we're talking about Cuban sandwich, the best and the best wings. Hey, Crazy Dave Sports Bar.
Also, you understand you have a book coming out. You know, everybody thinks wrestlers, they can't read, they can't write, can't do much of anything, but there's a lot of smart people like you guys. Great business, but also you're coming out with a book soon.
And I know everybody's going, oh God, another book, another, you know, person involved in wrestling and wrote another book. No, this is different. It has nothing to do with the wrestling business. It's a fiction murder mystery. I wouldn't say it's coming out just yet, but I'm negotiating with an agent, and I'm hoping that that's going to be my new career path, that I can draw from all my experiences and all the things that I've seen and lived through and observed, that I can draw from that and infuse my characters with a lot of realistic life, and you know, and I'm already working on the next project, and you know, I run the bar, I bartend, I have a part-time job, and I take care of the
She still manages me. Hey, look at what she still manages me. She just managed me Tuesday night for Florida Underground Wrestling, a great independent wrestling group doing great things. And you should know Shannon because you're my personal ring announcer.
Yeah.
And
we didn't steal any. We didn't steal any of that gimmicks, anyways.
No, we didn't steal nobody.
Good
You
for
know
you,
what?
but let me-
One more
sure,
thing,
sure.
Shannon. I want to get because nobody realizes that I helped book Portland, Oregon. With Buddy Rose.
As
God
Top
bless
Gun,
his
you
soul.
did the gimmick there. Yeah.
I did the Top Gun, but I helped Buddy Rose book through a committee. I helped Rip the Crippler Oliver book. At the end, I helped the Grappler book Portland Wrestling. I helped booked in Australia. I helped behind the scenes in WWC when Ricky Santana was in Japan. So Carlos Colon would never let us do a committee. Well, guess what? He did do a committee.
And they increased business 50% in 3 weeks.
Puerto Rico and the IWA now. Are you ever actually worked for Salvio? And because
I worked for IWA for a long time. I'm not going to knock IWA. I don't believe in knocking anybody.
But are they working together now? Because
no, they're not working together. And
there's
some
controversy.
The deal is WWC has been there for over 35 years. They're having their anniversary soon. You'll never, ever, there's nobody ever going to be higher than WWC in Puerto Rico because they're a great company. I love wrestling for them. Yes, I was an IWA at one time. I don't disagree. I think competition is good. I think Savio Vega, Miguelito Perez, they're doing great on their own deal. But Carlos's product happens to be just a little bit better. And, a lot better. And, and there's other groups that run there. I just got a call the other day. Somebody wanted me to wrestle there for them or work there. And I'm not saying yes or no, but right now I would say WWC is the #1 company. Now I just don't, it's like almost like comparing TNA. They got a great product. I love TNA. I think they do a good deal, but they're never going to be higher than WWE.
We're running out of time, Fidel. I want to also ask you this, and some people have touched upon the situation. It's still a touchy subject, but that is Bruiser Brody's death. And you were in Puerto Rico a lot of the times around that time that he passed away, or allegedly
Shannon,
got killed.
When that happened, I was in Japan. I was shocked to hear the news.
But you knew a lot of the same people that were there, from Tony Atlas to Dutch
Mantel.
Mantel.
I knew a lot of people that were there. I only could tell you that they say, quote, but he was never charged with it, that Invader did it, and I would say there's no question about that, but I can't, you know what I mean? 2 people went into a dressing room, into the shower room. 1 person came out, that part. But at the same time, I was in Japan. I think that's water under the bridge. God bless Bruiser Brody. Myself, I've had some run-ins with the Invader. I mean, some heavy run-ins. We've probably had the most closest to shoot fights in the wrestling business in Puerto Rico.
One time he came into the heels dressing room after a match. He snatched me by the hair. I mean, hard.
Oh, wow.
To the point, dragged me out. There
Yanked
was
hairs
stuff
out of her
flying
head.
from the fans. They were throwing things right and left. I mean, we were drenched. Yanked us out. There was like a big thing in the middle. Carlos came out. Ricky came out. We were.
And Invader at that point, me and him really got into it. I had him in a front face lock. I had him crunched up real good, and he still had her hair. And I can remember the next day I went to the office.
Baggies.
Yeah, and I went to the office the next day with the baggie, and I threw the baggie on the desk and said, "What the hell is going on here?" And I don't cut no corners. I'm not scared of Invader. I'm not scared of anybody on God's green earth.
But
everybody knows that Fidel Sierra is a crazy son of a gun in this wrestling.
Now, you have a love-hate relationship with the fans, both of you guys have, but, they've knifed you, and we've talked about the riots.
They're not knifed me, but I have
the fans have had knives and,
Dirty diapers at us.
Dirty diapers, wow.
Hey, I've had baby food jars busted in my head. But you know what? Like you said, love-hate relationship. The wrestling fans in Puerto Rico are one of a kind, unique.
Hardcore.
They love their wrestling. They're hardcore. I can still go there right now. I won't feel like I'm used proper there right now. They don't have the respect they should have for me there right now. From WWC to whoever, I don't care. I can go there next week. I can bust Carlito Colon upside the head with a brick in the purse, or who Ricky Banderas, or I don't care who it is, and I guarantee you that they don't need to fly in. All these other guys are flying in. I know that I will raise their house up. I know that the crowd will be better. I know that I will get the highest ratings. But because it's a political business, I get the short end of the stick there. I don't get the respect I deserve in Puerto Rico. Yeah, and I'm talking to you, WWC, Carlos Colon, whoever. You need to realize that I can still draw you money, more money than a bunch of those dumbasses that you fly in and spend all that money on.
Fidel, talk to the fans right now. Tell them something in Spanish for the ones that are watching that do speak Espanol.
Lo que no me entendieron, la gente de Puerto Rico, yo no me importa, yo sé que yo todavía soy la leyenda de Puerto Rico, Fidel Cuban Asesino, con fantasy. Y yo te digo decir una cosa, no me dan el respeto que me deben dar. Yo puedo decir, no me pongan en batalla campal y todo eso, ponme en una lucha de verdad. Le doy a una persona, no necesito ser Carlitos, Shane, quien sea, Joe Bravo, no importa. Y yo le enseño que yo puedo traer los fanáticos y llenar la cancha más que cualquier persona, ser los ratings más altos que cualquier persona, pero no lo hacen porque ¿saben por qué? Porque todavía estamos en los politics de este negocio. Para los politics, tráeme, debe enseñarte que yo puedo llenar la cancha.